Welcome, and happy Halloween. This is The Sigma Show. I'm your host, Sigma, and before I let you know who's joining me today and what the hell we're all doing in here, real quick, we'll go over our topics for the week. First up, actual big news in the Activision Blizzard suit that we've been actively following for the past month or so, like several months maybe. Bobby Kotick is kind of making some changes. And we'll get into what that is and what he's doing personally to kind of address some of the accusations and the suits that have been going on or have been levied towards Activision Blizzard. We'll talk about the Facebook rebrand. They've changed their name from Facebook to Meta. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. We'll talk about it. And also another contender trying to enter the platform fighter ring. This one belonging to WB and their Metaverse or multiverse fighter is what they're calling it. Right. So we'll talk about kind of what that's all about. And here to talk with me about these topics are Ash Redux.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Good to see you again.
Rachel Kaiser.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. Happy Halloween.
And Happy Halloween. And Blue Bones.
This isn't Blue Bones. This is somebody else. But what's going on?
Did I screw up your intro by calling you by your name?
Don't dox me.
Oh man. So if you haven't noticed, or if you're not watching the video version, 3/4 of the cast today are all in full Halloween costume because today is actually Halloween. Whatever day you're listening to it, this recording falls on Halloween, and I figured it'd be fun to get into the spirit and actually dress up. Ash did not join us. This is his own personal choice whether he wants to dress up for Halloween or not. I don't know if he thinks it's beneath him or.
I got my lights doing a random flicker and they go red as if I'm being stabbed randomly. If that helps. Okay.
I'm gonna say it doesn't, but good try.
Sorry, Ash.
But Blue is here dressed as a member of Anonymous, which he's dubbed Blue Anonymous.
Yeah.
Very nice camera effects going on there. Rachel dressed as a pirate. Captain, I should say, with the eye patch, the big hat, everything. Like, lots of flair going on there. Well done, Rachel.
I even have an octopus necklace.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, I already had that, but to be clear. But it just...
Right,
yeah,
how much of this costume was just in your house? I'm very curious now.
Actually, everything except the eye patch. So, yeah.
Wow, okay. So Rachel just part-time pirate on a regular basis.
Yeah.
All right, DJ in the chat says, morning, everyone. What's up, DJ? Welcome to the stream. Let's jump right into things. First up, our Activision Blizzard suit update. Or rather, maybe let's jump in with the what you've been playing, since I do think the Activision thing is more of an update than we're used to for the past couple of weeks. So we'll just get started with something a little lighter. Who wants to go first? Anything you've been playing or watching or reading recently? Did anybody go to any parties or whatnot for Halloween? Because I know this is the tail end of the weekend, and it's usually a great time for Halloween festivities when it falls around this time period. So, anybody want to jump in?
I'll start.
No.
You got it, Ash.
I finally finished Mafia Definitive Edition when they did the Mafia Trilogy. The first one I ever played was 2. And I really enjoyed it. Played 3. I was like, I never got to play the first one. Finally got into the trilogy not too long ago. And I was like, let me actually finish this game. I'm close to the end. Does this count as spoilers? It's been out for a long time.
Yeah, if they make a definitive edition, especially this long after, either you played it already or you're not planning on it.
I was very hurt and torn. I literally called my wife and was sad because at the end of the game, after everything that happens, I'll leave as much out as possible. But you're an old man, you done what you've done in your life, and you're done with your mafia family ties. And then a car pulls up as you're watering your lawn. As soon as the car pulls up, I'm already like, oh, today's the day I'm going to die. It's crazy. I felt like I was an old man who went wrong because I was literally like, oh, today's the day I'm going to die. And they pull up and they're like, Mr. Angelo, turn around. I see one character. They don't show their character's face immediately, though. And then as other character's walking up, he's like, Mr. Salieri sends his regards. Mr. Salieri was my Don. that I betrayed. So, and then when they show his face, it is the main character from Mafia 2. And I said, screw you all. No, don't do this to me. So now I literally, I was at the end, I was like, man, I can't wait to play my favorite one right after this too, just so I can relive it, because I forgot all the main plot points and stuff. It'll be great to play it again. And then as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh no. Because I just became really attached to this main character after playing through his life to now see that the person I'm gonna play next murdered him.
That's pretty cool, like video game continuity, honestly. Like the character who murdered your last protagonist, you just take over as. Like they kind of did the reverse of that, I want to say, in GTA 5, because they had the character you played in The Lost and the Damned. They introduced their new character, Trevor, by having Trevor murder that guy.
Yeah.
I was still depressed though, but yeah. So I played that, and I've been playing Riders Republic. That was me this past.
How are you liking Riders Republic? Because that's a new release, and I've been looking at it for a while now. Like it looks like fun multiplayer nonsense, but it's not free, so I do need to be careful if I just plump down the money on it.
Riders Republic is what Steep was supposed to be. I don't know if you played Steep.
I did. I tried a little bit. Yeah.
And Steve wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun, which yes, and
isn't the game supposed to be fun?
Listen to me.
I mean, I have qualms with that definition. I don't think games are supposed to be fun, but maybe that one should have been.
It should
like
have
maybe
been.
that game was supposed to be fun and wasn't.
But Riders Republic takes itself a lot less seriously than Steep was. Steep was trying to be more simulation than like arcadey, which is fine, but not the way that they executed it. It was just really slow and everything. Riders Republic, much faster pace, which I mean, if I'm doing extreme sports, I plan on moving very fast, doing high flying tricks. It doesn't have to be like SSX tricky or anything, but it at least needs to be more than Steep. So yeah, it takes itself less seriously, and it's just a fun time. And literally seeing like hundreds of other people just moving around the map is actually pretty cool. Or being in like they have like mass races where it'll be just 60 other players or 60 total players or something.
Yeah, like how does that work? Is it more chaotic than it is like structured racing? Like because that seems like a lot of players to throw into a single game type.
So you're racing real people, but it's like they're ghosts. So it's a mixture of
what?
So like that's actually them playing. But you can go through them, so you have to worry about.
Oh, okay. There's no like collision and stuff. Okay.
But with 60 people, Blue, like if there's all collision,
exactly what I want with 60 people.
You're not gonna go
exactly
anywhere.
What I want with 60 people.
Literally, like 3 people are gonna make it, and the rest are just gonna be dog piled up.
Yes, Fall Guys.
That's pretty funny. Maybe the option to have it one way or the other would have helped in that regard. Because I don't know which would be the better way to go.
But and it has like a little story plot thing that goes with it too. Steep didn't have like a story with it. You just started playing basically. This one has like its own little story plot that you can follow along to, which is actually pretty good. The voice actors don't take themselves super seriously, so it's like just a fun time while they're doing the story, and it's silly. So I like it. I think it's a good time.
Nice. All right, does that do it for you?
Yeah, that's it.
Does that wrap it? Okay. Go ahead, Rachel.
I was going to say, I've actually been playing Riders Republic too. I'm hoping to... I can't talk as much about it as Ash did because I'm hoping to have my review published early next week. So
gotcha.
That would be telling. But yeah, I can agree with with almost everything of what Ash said. And it is one of those games that is not... You're not playing it for like The Last of Us. It's not like you're playing it for the story. You're not playing it to have your emotions tugged. You're not playing it to have, to be overawed by the character interactions or anything like that. You know what you're getting into when you get a game like this. It's meant to be just silly fun, and I do think it is silly fun. So that's it in a nutshell. And nice. I went back and played a little bit more of Far Cry 6 as well, just because I was feeling like I'm playing one Ubisoft game. I need another one to contrast it a little bit, and. Basically just doing a comparison with other Far Cry games about how Giancarlo Esposito's character shakes out as a Far Cry villain.
Cool.
I'm like, I'm annoyed about the fact now that looking back that the cutscenes are not first person, because I'm thinking, you robbed me of the opportunity to be personally menaced by Giancarlo Esposito, and I kind of resent that a little bit. It's like, I
It's
get
funny.
it.
I typically hate first-person cutscenes, but the way you're saying it now, I really think I'd appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah,
that's
be-
the Far Cry
intense
thing.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've had success with that in the past, right? Like they'd be trying to recreate the whole the definition of insanity thing with Voss from Far Cry 3. So
Yeah.
I don't know, because I kind of like that I could see my character in Far Cry 6, because since they were voiced and stuff, like it separates me from me thinking like this is me having this experience and me tagging along with that character who's having the experience. So I get it. I can see the both sides. Saber Psych in the chat says, okay, Pirate, Hacker Man, Ryu, and Dwayne Johnson with a beard.
Aw,
Wow. Well, you know what? That's a compliment. I'll take it.
that's close enough.
Take that one.
Yeah.
That's a freebie.
Oh man.
That is.
But yeah, okay. Does that wrap things up for you, Rachel, or was there anything else you were trying to share?
Well, I mean, as far as movies go, I am looking forward to seeing The Eternals. I don't care how many bad reviews it's gonna get. I'm gonna see it anyway. So
Yeah, that's
I'll get
that's
back to you
weirdly
after
one of
I've
those. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you think, because I've been seeing that as well. But before that, even I was like, this actually seems like a Marvel movie I'll skip. Like I won't go to the theaters to watch this. I'll wait until it's just in my house, and then to see how badly it's been reviewed makes me feel like, you know what, I was probably justified in that decision.
Well, I mean, full disclosure here, I'm a huge Angelina Jolie fan, so I was going to see it regardless of how
Okay.
it's reviewed, and I'm probably not alone in that. So it's one of those things where I think this woman does not need to do anything she doesn't want to do. So she's joining the MCU. She's doing this film because she wants to do it. So I kind of want to see what enticed her to be part of this project. So I don't really,
Right.
yeah. Again, I'm not. This is one of those movies that I'm not going to be like, oh, it's getting a bunch of reviews. Maybe I'll just spend my weekend somewhere else. No, I'm going to go see it, and I, if you want me on after that, I will be happy to share my thoughts. But this is sort of like my pre-game
Gotcha.
bit about it.
Nice.
I
Okay.
think the Eternals is gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see it for Brian Tyree Henry, Paperboy.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see it for him. I love that actor, and to see him jump to the MCU is gonna be. I think it's gonna be amazing. He always shines in a great way in anything that I've seen him in.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I find it funny how the Eternals seem to put together a cast of just very different but very likable actors and actresses. Because like my big thing was like, oh, Kumail Nanjiani's in this. Kumail Nanjiani gets to be in the Marvel Universe. Because I was a big fan of that guy, from him being on Dan Harmon's podcast to him. He also had a podcast with his wife called The Indoor Kids or something like that I used to listen to all the time. And, you know, he's a funny comedian. I've loved him in everything. He's also in Silicon Valley, I think, as well. And then, like, he basically had a big internet glow up when he joined the Marvel Universe. Like, he just got mad ripped out of nowhere. So I wanted to watch to support him. But all the trailers I've seen for that movie have just been super uninteresting. Like, I don't know what that movie's about. I don't know why these characters are supposed to be interesting. And, like, Shang-Chi sold me on its fight choreography, which they showed off in the trailers. I was like, oh, I need to see this for just the fights alone. Like, this just looks really fun. And Eternals is like, okay, these are superheroes, but also there are CG monsters all over the place, and like that's not a compelling fight. So I don't know. I've not seen it yet, but I will once it's on Disney Plus, probably a month from now.
That's fair.
Tommy in the chat says, love you guys. We'll listen to the podcast version. Rachel, take my gold and spare my life, as he gives 500 bits in the chat. And he says he also now sees that Blue is here too.
Blue's not here. Blue's not here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is anti-Blue at the very least.
Technically, my name is Red.
What is-
The anti-blue. I guess it should be.
Okay.
The opposite of blue.
It should be orange.
What about
So
you?
does that?
Casey?
Yeah. In terms of watching, I finished something that is blanking my mind right now, but I started another Apple TV show, Foundation. Have you guys heard of this at all?
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I love Isaac Asimov's book, so I
Right,
haven't
it's
seen
an
the show
Isaac
yet.
Asimov series, and like I think they're adapting that. The first episode is great. Like it is awesome. Like the visuals are fantastic. Like the way they're showing you like this universe. Like they have like really cool and interesting technology. They have a really cool hierarchy. Like this isn't a spoiler. Like they kind of introduce this stuff to you in the beginning, but like the galaxy is ruled by the Empire, and the Empire is literally a clone of the same ruler over and over and over again. They keep cloning this ruler. And so they have three at any given time. One is like a child called Dawn, one is like middle-aged called Day, and then an older one called Dusk. And the three of them essentially are ruling the galaxy as like a team. And like every time you see their interactions, like they'll do cool stuff like, oh, they're all sitting at the dinner table. They'll all reach over with the same hand at the same time and grab a fork and eat. So it's like they're they're the same person. But then also the older two will always be like teaching and testing the younger one, and the younger one is like super smart and like kind of playing back for like it's a really, really interesting dynamic that they have with those characters. But those are the bad guys, I think, because the good guys are essentially mathematicians who are so good at math, apparently, that they can predict how society will act. Like, apparently, since, you know, it's a population in the galaxy of like trillions and trillions of people, they can do math equations that predict their behavior, and they predict that the Empire will fall within a certain amount of time, which, of course, is heresy to the clone dynasty and blah, blah, blah. So, like, that's the kind of setup. But then they jump forward like 35 years, and then you get to see how that tension has played out. So that was just episode 1, and they introduced a ton of stuff that I was like really, really hyped and interested in. So like I'm really excited to finish that out. Cause I'm a big fan of like sci-fi stuff. But outside of Foundation or The Foundation, I can't remember which it is. But outside of just Foundation, okay.
Yeah.
So outside of watching, yesterday I was on stream with my son and my fiance. We were dressed in our Haikyuu outfits because that was our like Halloween photo shoot that I'm doing every year. So I was desperately trying to find a volleyball game, and weirdly enough, there aren't a lot of them that are available now. Like there's one recently that's like very sim-like, but it's like terrible apparently. But I stumbled across, luckily, on Xbox, Super Volley Blast, and it's a 2v2 like, you know, kind of a not street really volleyball, but more like an arcadey volleyball game. It's only local play from what I can tell. There's no like online matchmaking and stuff, but their volleyball mechanics are really solid and really fun. Like with two people on the same side of the net, like, you know, you press one button to like lob it up or to your partner. You can press another button to spike. You can jump spike. You can mix up all the different things you can do, and you can like coordinate with your partner to like really like throw the team off. You can even like stuff spikes on the opposite side if you like predict that they're going for one and you like jump in their face and stuff. So like it really gives you the feel of like playing 2v2 volleyball, even though you're like sitting in the house not actually doing that. And it's, you know, you can customize your character, which I know is a big thing for Blue. So you can really make characters just look like almost however you want. Like in the story mode, for example, they had us go against computer characters that were Guile and Chun-Li, as well as Spider-Man and the Hulk were we were going against. But other than that, the campaign was actually pretty buggy. Like the computer, for example, kept showing me cutscenes from the first pair that I fought. That I played in volleyball. I didn't fight them. But like every new match I had would have those same two guys from the first match show up and say the same thing that they said at the end of their first match, which is just broken. Like that's not how that's supposed to be happening. But on top of that, the enemies or the opponents would be facing the opposite way as well. So like it was as if we were all on the same side of the net, but all their shots were like I'm facing this way. They would spike, but it would go behind because that's where it should go. But they're all facing the opposite way. So like it's a little buggy. The game came out, I want to say, in like 2019, so I don't have any hope that they're planning to fix that or add online support in the near future. So it is what it is. But either way, it's a fun time. I had fun with it. But that does it for me. Blue, what about you?
Oh man, I rediscovered Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, you went back?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I just got the bug, man. I love it. I'm back into it. I'm gonna get the expansion that pretty much turns into Fire Emblem Four Houses. I've been reading up a little bit on that, but not giving myself spoilers. So I'm pretty excited about that. Um, let's see. I started watching and I finished season one of Secession. Have y'all watched it?
How is that? No, I've been hearing nothing but hype about
It's
it though.
insane. It's insane. My heart has broken twice hard in the first season. Um, but it's one of the executive producers is Will Ferrell. I think the other one is Adam McKay. I want to say. And these guys have been doing some really good stuff for a long time. When it comes to their like parodies and their satire, when it comes to commentary on big media
Hmm.
business and stuff like that. So this is talking about large media conglomerates and the insanity that goes on up there. Um, it's really about four children trying to succeed their old goat father, who's the head of. I forget what the parallel is, but it's like Time Warner or something like that. One of the big guys.
Probably. So, being that this is from Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, it's not a comedy though. Like that's what I was wondering about. Like,
It's a
is it
dark comedy. It's more of a drama than a comedy, which is
okay?
interesting. It's filmed like the color grading and the shot setup is like a drama, or even you could even say like an Inception. It kind of feels like those very nice spread out shots, but then the camera movement is like The Office, where they'll like zoom in on an awkward
Mhm.
face or an awkward moment or a very funny or a moment that's supposed to be ironic. And there's a nice break between the comedy and the drama, but the drama definitely holds you holds you in. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've been planning to check that out. So maybe after Foundation, I'll jump into that. What season
Yeah,
is it on now?
definitely. It's on season three. Season three is currently airing and dropping on HBO Max.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a lot of fun. I've been playing Fuser, like DJ talked about. I'm sorry, Ash, you were gonna say something?
Oh, no. Go.
I've been playing Fuser, like DJ mentioned in the chat. I've been playing with Ash occasionally. Um, who else? There's a lot of people in the open party that have just picked it up, and we're gonna have like a whole big EDM festival soon that I'm pretty excited about. I
Yes.
know Ricky picked it up, and somebody else. I can't remember. Sorry, my dog is like deciding right now while I'm talking is the time to distract me, and she just took her costume off. She's dressed as little Bark Vader. But
No.
Mark.
yeah, I'll
Oh
get you
man, I
guys
wish we could have
pictures on
seen
that
that.
later.
Okay.
It's too dark for it. I brought her up earlier and she's just like in my face.
She probably doesn't know who you are. He's like, who is this man? And
Yo, the first time I put on the mask, she was scared as hell. She's like, I know Daddy's voice, but I don't know that face. So she like run to me and stop, and then turn around, and it just did like 3, 4 times. She's like, Nah, I know him, but I don't know him. Um, I've been playing a lot with the pup actually this weekend. I've been learning a lot about her and doing the little puppy training and stuff like that, and that takes a lot of my time. Um, I'm learning how to not get bit, but get nibbled. But
The sense is none of us went to Halloween parties this weekend.
oh, you know what?
oh no,
I'm
I
happy
did.
because oh, you did?
No, yeah, I did, but it was for kids. It was like a kids Halloween party.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, man. I saw a lot of my friends get drunk this weekend. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. I'm too old for that. Because when you get drunk, you have like to pay for it the next day, on top of the money that you pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you paid for it like financially, then you pay for it physically. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and the time in between ain't good enough.
Also, you drink enough, you don't even remember that time in between.
Exactly.
Like you just lose it.
But
Real,
anyway, let me get off of that.
And I want to say one thing too that I forgot to mention. I have been watching the Chucky TV series that they just started. And if you're a fan of Chucky at all, the series is great for longtime fans. Very much so. So I'd highly recommend.
Hi, puppy.
It is the puppies.
Oh, there he
She's real
goes.
creepy. She got one blue eye, and then sometimes I just see the blue eye in the middle of the night. Creepy as hell. I
Aw.
love her.
Hey,
But she's
sweetie.
But she creepy.
but you creepy. Oh man, I almost forgot. Talk about creepy. I finished all of Midnight Mass recently. Has any of you guys been watching that? It is amazing. That show is brilliant, and I really have not cared at all about any of like the Haunting on Hill House or Bly Manor stuff. Like I watched some of the Bly Manor and thought it was kind of corny, honestly. Hill House I have not seen at all, so I really can't pass judgment on it. I just didn't care enough. I'm like, it's a haunting story. I don't care. I don't care about this. But the Midnight Mass thing, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Actually watched it, and without spoiling anything, it is such a smart commentary on like religion, specifically like the Christian/Catholic religion, which I grew up in that faith. I'm not really devout anymore. Not that I ever was as a kid, if I'm being honest. But either way, I was brought up in that religion, and like the commentary they have about that religion and about religion as a whole is brilliant. The way they use it with like horror tropes. Like I won't spoil anything, but like man, they are saying some things in that show. Like if you have any interest in like religion whatsoever, or just good like horror stories, watch it. It's great. Midnight Mass was fantastic.
You know, as you mentioned that, What We Do in the Shadows, I think their their latest season just finished.
Nice. I should get back in that.
Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great. They did a whole huge cliffhanger at the end of this one. Like, I don't want to give away what's going on, but one of the characters ain't the same. Like 100% different. They got flipped upside down. And this show I think it's amazing because it does a very practical and comedic view of what we've learned about vampires and how they would actually, if they weren't very competent, how they would move today. You know what I mean? And it's just really well written. There's a lot of dumb stuff.
It is. I enjoy that show greatly.
Cameos. Yeah. But all right.
Real quick, just want to address the chat. Lampy getting caught up to speed. Yes, this is my second Halloween costume. Because the other one I did was for a photo shoot. If you have not seen the pictures of myself and Starboy dressing as the Haikyuu characters, Kageyama and Hinata, check those out. They're on my Twitter as well as my Instagram and my Facebook if you have me over there. It was a fun time.
On Facebook, I'm insulted.
Really? Well, look me up. It's my name. It should be easy to find. It's literally just my name. But yeah, check those pictures out if you have not seen them. He also is asking where's Ash's costume and bans Ash as a result. Yeah, I mean Ash didn't have a costume. What are you gonna do? I can't force the man to wear a costume for Halloween.
Casey sent me a very threatening message saying, "Hey, you better have on a costume. If you do not, I will come to your house and ensure you can be out of your ceiling." That's what.
Oh,
he
I
said.
got the same one.
And Saber Psych is reminding Lampy.
Yeah.
Saber Psych reminding Lampy that he's actually Dwayne Johnson. That is his costume, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh my god! Wait, Lampy, you can force him. Just mute him. Saber, put Ash Redux at gunpoint.
Wow.
Oh my god! It's your stream, Casey. Of course you get. All right. I see how it is. Okay, that's fine.
Hats?
I do not.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I said, hey, you got a hat.
I got a whole collection of hats.
But I guess that does it for our what you've been playing, right? Everyone's gone. Everyone's up to date.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we'll jump into our first topic. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is taking another pay cut. He took one not too long ago. Remember that was in the news. It wasn't considered substantial because the man still made like upwards of like hundreds of millions of dollars. But this time he means business. This pay cut apparently is the lowest allowed by California state law. So it's somewhere around 62,000 and some change, which is still more than I make, mind you. But
Yeah.
for a CEO of a major company, that's a substantial cut. Not that it's going to hurt him.
Like,
He's already made millions of dollars for like decades now. But this is supposed to support a lot of changes that he's made to try and address some of the issues that staff have brought up. The most important of which is that will no longer force employees to go through arbitration. They have the right to waive any arbitration if they have complaints lobbied against the company, which was one of the demands, I believe, that was in the 5-part letter that employees sent out. There were some other things that they said that they're dedicating tons of money to, new hiring practices, bringing up levels of like women and non-binary members of the staff to, I want to say, like they said 50% of the staff would not be white men, essentially, or something to that effect. Which I cannot remember point for point what was in the Activision Blizzard employees letters, but does this do enough? Like, this hit one big tenant. I don't believe it hit all of them for the employees, but like with this kind of show of faith and like this kind of because a lot of Japanese executives do this too. They take big pay cuts when the company's not doing well. This is the biggest cut that the man can take, and they're saying that they're doing a lot, or they're planning to do a lot to bring stuff up, and that his pay won't return to normal until they've reached all those milestones that they've set to a satisfactory level. So like, how does this rub you guys in following how, Activision has been responding to this in the past, and Bobby Kotick coming out and basically doing this new initiative that does seem to try and get at something much bigger here? Like, how is this show hitting you? Yes, Rachel.
Just real quick, I just want to address what Lampy said about what he's getting in bonuses and stock payouts. To be clear, he has said that this is a reduction in his overall compensation, not just his salary. So he's not getting he says he's not getting any bonuses or any payouts, anything, nothing except the $62,500. So supposedly, I mean, I just want to address that because that is a very good point to make, that it's not just salary that Bobby Kotick makes his money from, but supposedly he has refused all forms of bonuses and everything except that simple base, that lump sum. Right. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, the fact that apparently Bobby Kotick eventually did sit down and say, you know what, maybe I have enough money. Maybe this is something we should actually be working towards. I mean, I feel like it took a longer time to get there than it probably should have. But, I mean, this is one of those things where I'm supposed to say, well, we're getting there. We're kind of getting there. And I'm not mad about it. I will say that. I've been mad about this whole situation, but I'm not mad about this. I'm mad about the fact that they're still trying to get out of the lawsuit via a loophole. They're still the lawyers are still going to lawyer, but as far as Bobby Kotick is concerned, I actually did appreciate a lot of the stuff that was in the letter he sent out. It did feel, it actually, I don't know if I'm a good judge of this, but it actually felt kind of genuine. That yes, I recognize that this is a problem, and I'm committed to try and help fix it in some way.
I definitely agree. I think that if you're gonna have CEOs and execs reform, this is the kind of action that needs to be taken. Because honestly, in America, hit them in the purse. I've said this a lot of times here on the stream, but the money is where it's at. The money is what hurts people. Real talk, and especially I don't know if he's insanely rich, but compared to a lot of folks I know.
Bobby Kotick is insanely rich.
Money,
yeah,
they start paying attention. You know what I mean? And I think this is the kind of monetary penalty that does need to be that needs to put execs in check. Like,
I mean, the thing is, he did it to himself, though, right?
The problem is that this is temporary, right? Till the conditions are met. We need to make sure that those conditions are actually accurately met. Because if they're not, then they're just saying, "Oh, I'll take a pay cut for a month, and we're all good now." This actually has to be good reform. And just like Rachel was saying, the letter does seem sincere, and I hope it is. And I hope that he's one of many execs that takes this these allegations seriously.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really surprised by that pay cut. Like the first one, it went from what it say like 8 million to 1 million. That's even though that's still a lot more money than I make in a year. That's still a very substantial pay cut to take. Like I could not recognize that the first time, but now to this overall compensation of 62, which yes, also like UKC is more than what I make, but I also recognize he's in California, so that's 62,000 in California.
Yeah, that does not go far.
I looked. I just looked up to see the median household income in 2019 for California was 75,000. He makes less than the median household income in the state of California now, and that really shocks me. That really shocks me that he went.
But like Lampy is saying in the chat, Bobby Kotick was one of the most overpaid CEOs in the country, like period, of any industry, right? And Bobby Kotick has been CEO of Activision Blizzard for a while now. Like I don't know who was the CEO before him, but Activision Blizzard has always been run by Bobby Kotick as far as I'm concerned. So he has enough money, like Rachel mentioned. Like this isn't going to hurt him.
Money, sure.
This is more symbolic of anything. But I do appreciate the symbolism. Like I'm wondering though, because Discordian S is also talking about some more skepticism in this stuff. Like was this really just smart PR? Like someone was like, look, you're the CEO. Exactly. If you want to keep this job, this is what you have to do now so that this can maybe go away and you can, be better in the future. Like it's not going to kill you to lose this much money in the interim. You have to say you're going to do all these things and maybe actually do them. Mm-hmm. But I do think it does serve the greater purpose of just saving the company and not so, you know what, there's something wrong here and I care about fixing it for those people. It's more so this is affecting the company, and as a good CEO, I'm going to do what it takes to save the company. And I think that's part of the reason why the board desperately does not want to get rid of Bobby Kotick, and they love paying him all sorts of money all the time, because I think Bobby Kotick does know how to run and save and make money at a major company. Like he's kind of good at his job, as much of a dirtbag as he can seem sometimes. Like he does seem to be a good CEO. Maybe that's what it takes to be a good CEO.
He's not keeping his house in order, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to, make it run.
Right.
So, I mean, I did notice that there were a couple places in the letter that he wrote that are a little bit, I'm a little bit suspect about it, but I mean, when it comes to outright firing him, I mean, who would we replace him with, and would they be any better? I mean, would we replace him with Fran Townsend? We'd be in an even worse position as far as I'm concerned. But, I mean, there are a couple of places where he says things that I'm like, come on, Bobby, stop it. Always assuming, of course, like Discordian said, that he's the one who wrote it. But, like, when he said, we'll continue to increase visibility on pay equity, our U.S. analysis showed that women in the company on average earned slightly more than men for comparable work in 2020. Like, really? Was that the issue, Bobby? Is that what we're, you just speak like, the women in our company earned a bit more. Well, they should have, considering the environment they lived in. But there's a little bit of passive aggression to it, and I'm just going to take it as read that he's the one who wrote it, just, putting a little bit of faith in it as far as that's concerned. So there is a little bit of that, but there's also, I mean, I appreciate that he says things like an Activision employee who's found who's guilty of workplace misconduct, we're no longer going to rely on written warnings, which was part of the problem to begin with, when all the people like Alex, I never remembered how to pronounce his name, Sayabi,
I guess.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Alex, we'll call him Alex. When he was brought to the mat, or accused of inappropriate behavior in the workplace, he was basically just brought into Bobby Kotick's office, and Bobby Kotick said, "Hey, Alex, stop that," and that was all there was to it. So from now on, it seems that they're not going to be relying on slaps on the wrist, which was part of the problem to begin with, to be fair.
True. So I mean,
is this one of the signs? I'm putting faith in him that he's the one who wrote it. I'm not putting faith in him to fix the situation overall.
Bobby Pockets? Is that like a common name for this man? Bobby Pockets? Is that it, or did Lampy just come up with that? Oh, I want to say God, that's great.
Nick and Jack on the Escapist show came up with that. calling him Bobby Pockets because
I need to
the
coin that.
man gets paid.
Coin that immediately.
But yeah, no, I definitely see how this can, like, you can definitely read between the lines and be like, all right, well, he doesn't mean any of this. It's just to save the company. And I partly agree with that because, like, Bobby Kotick has not necessarily been anything other than a sleazy CEO for, like, as long as he's been a CEO, right? But if all the pushing that the industry and the public have been giving them, all the pushback, all the bad looks, all the sloping sales, is going to make them do something about it. Like, that was the goal, wasn't it? Like, if even if he was forced to do this by, like, some PR firm they hired, it was like, look, follow this rule set and you'll be back on track. If that rule set involves them, actually solving some of the problems that were brought up, that sounds like a victory, or at least a pending victory, right? Like, is this grounds to get excited, grounds to celebrate? Is it grounds to let Activision Blizzard off the hook for, like, some of the people who have maybe, like, stopped playing their games or, like, giving them media blackouts in terms of, like, coverage and stuff like that? Like, is this a sign that they are listening?
It can be if there's more of it. This can't be the only instance of huge chase sets. If you see,
so you want to keep hearing more about this initiative. Like, you don't want this to be the last they've said on it publicly.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, because, like, most of the stuff that they did detail, other than like the forced arbitration, like, it's supposed to be an initiative. They're supposed to be trying to bring the number of, like, employees of a certain demographic up, right? So, like, matter of fact, they did say that in the letter. Now to think about it, there's supposed to be, like, an annual review where they basically tell you what those stats are looking like. I think, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like that, it seems like they got the hint. To me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting Bobby Kotick's heart to grow 3 sizes. Put it that way. I'm not saying that the man personally is like, you know what? Maybe I have been handling things wrong. I'm not expecting him to personally turn over a new leaf. Like, I'm not saying that this is, and that the people involved have fundamentally changed. I'm saying that this might be a sign of positive change to come, and I'm going to that's what I see in this. I'm tentatively hopeful, but like Blue said, this is not actually a change. It's a pledge to change. It's not actually a change.
Right. Okay. Well, anything left to say in regards to this before we move on to our next topic? Ash, I see the gears turning.
No.
Okay, he said no. I turned them off. I turned the gears off.
Turned them off.
All right, then. So we'll move on to our next topic. This was kind of teased for a while last week. Facebook said that they were going to be changing their name. And to clarify, I do believe this is the name of, like, the parent company, which was also called Facebook, not a change to the app that we use that shares the name Facebook, right? So the Facebook parent company, which also has Instagram and WhatsApp and whatever else, has changed their name to Meta. And this was done as a way to sort of show their dedication to building the metaverse, which is this kind of buzzword that we've been hearing a lot. It came up during the Apple versus Epic trial. And it's essentially, the stuff of sci-fi movies, right? Where pretty much you have a second life in a virtual world and there's branding all over the goddamn place. So, like, you can just be advertised to 24/7, apparently. But Facebook wants Facebook wants to lead the charge on the metaverse, so much so that they've changed the name of their parent company to Meta. How does that strike you guys as a plan? And how do you feel about a metaverse in general? Like, is that something you're looking forward to in the coming centuries? I don't know how long it's going to take for this to come true.
Oh, God.
I am signing up for anything that gets me ever closer to my Sword Art Online experience. Even if it's filled with ads and microtransactions, I don't care. I just want to be in the game. So whatever gets me there, Casey, if this is a step in that direction, I'm signing my life away. That is
right. Ash is on board.
But
he's on the SS Zuckerberg for this trip.
Anybody notice Zuckerberg's metaverse avatar in the, like, promotional video look more human than Zuckerberg does himself?
Yeah, I see. I
didn't see
those pictures.
I
Something is happening to Mark Zuckerberg that everyone is talking about, weirdly enough, but no one is doing anything about it. Like, every time you see that man just live in the real world, he's putting everyone on edge. He's dying?
He's dying? Is that what you said?
He's dying, and he's uploading his brain to the metaverse. Like, I don't understand. You're never going to see another real picture of Mark Zuckerberg again.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
This is Blue Anonymous telling you.
That is Blue Anonymous for real. Yep. That's Blue
That, you know what, that actually makes sense. That's why he's pushing so hard, because he wants to be reunited with the rest of humanity.
Yeah,
in the metaverse.
Isn't that the plot of another dystopian novel? It's kind of weird that Zuckerberg read novels like Snow Crash, which is where the concept of the metaverse comes from, or at least the name, and like Ready Player One, Snow Crash, all of those books, and he didn't realize those are dystopian fiction. It's like those aren't worlds to strive to be, Zuck.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Those are worlds where things are really messed up, and people go into the metaverse to escape, but
Ready
they can
Player
never
One.
truly escape.
I want it.
I mean, that
totally
is
cool with that. He's already given up hope.
Already
on
gave
current
up.
Society.
I have. Actually.
Well, I mean,
that's not even a joke.
if we really think about it, today's world is pretty dystopian.
Yeah.
So, like, it is in line. Like if he's like, you know what, everything's real shitty. Let's build a virtual world that's better.
Yeah.
I can see
Scary
why he
thought.
would think that would sell.
Scary thought. The
Bye.
metaverse, everyone starts at the same level. That's a scary thought.
For, you mean higher ups? You mean the 1%
Well-
will be scared of that, or?
Well, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's just like
I mean, not when they're selling access to it. Like, they start at the top. Like, Zuckerberg will probably have a whole meta Facebook castle in the metaverse where he conducts his business and lives his days.
A digital Illuminati. Never mind. Let me stop.
That's all right. I just gotta be better at the game. I'm not better at the game of life, but I'm definitely gonna be better at them in the actual virtual game. So it's all good. Let's get it.
Gotta learn your algorithm.
That's all.
Zuckerberg is like talking about like concepts in the metaverse that almost like Facebook is pioneering stuff that has been part of video games since like for years now. I mean, he's talking about basically having virtual avatars, being able to attend virtual concerts, which we've been doing for years in video games now. It's like, this is not a Facebook original concept. They are just the only ones who are deciding, hey, you know what? We're going to rebrand and make money off of that.
Like Apple.
So-
That's the thing. There's a lot of people that are not gamers that this is the first time they're hearing about this, and it's blowing their mind. And it's the crazy.
Yeah, that's probably who the audience
Like
is
Apple
for.
users.
Exactly.
Hell, bro, I got an Apple. What you talking about?
I know what you got, but it's still true.
Not really.
Yes, it is. Your screen is OLED. It can get 60 hertz. That was 5 years ago. Apple. It's okay. We love you.
I mean, what I will say is we know that Facebook is not the only company that's attempting to do this. Fortnite, Epic specifically, via Fortnite, have been trying to get this off the ground for a while now, and they've taken far more steps than Facebook has so far in trying to build like a digital virtual space where like just everything that you know and love combines together. And namely, everything you know and love are brands, like products, characters and stuff, right? Like that's like everything, every character, super popular character you know is probably in Fortnite right now. Like Facebook is starting on the back foot, but with them rebranding their parent company to Meta, any use of the term metaverse, I guess, will automatically be related to Facebook. Like maybe that's the goal they were looking to get at.
Terrible.
But honestly, I feel like that's like metaverse is like the default term of like this concept of virtual second life, right? All these other movies and TV shows and stuff that we've seen that has it have better names. Like I'm kind of mad that metaverse is where the big companies who are trying to push it forward are like they're using that. Like call it like Summer Wars called it Oz. Do that.
First of all,
I don't know. I don't like the term metaverse as the name of the place.
Bring that up.
What, Summer Wars?
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that movie's amazing. I love that movie.
Yeah. But
I'm just mad Neil Stevenson is not going to get any royalties from this, most likely.
Probably not.
I think it's a little unfortunate that they're calling it meta, which is the best, the better. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you go to any city and they're like, "Oh, this is the best hamburger in the world," and you're just like, "I know it's not the best, but that's like in the name, you know." So, but it with the power that the formerly known as Facebook company has, this does have an actual chance to be the meta, which is I think that's a little scary.
Yeah, like they are a massive, massive company, and they have the reach to
Yeah.
if they launch a thing like this, even a fraction of all the people in the world who use Facebook on a regular basis, if they decide to try it out, and they'll probably make it like accessible, easy, free, whatever it is, just to get as many people on board and in that ecosystem as possible. It's already probably going to do much better than. And honestly, I don't know this to be sure, but there are way more Facebook users than there are Fortnite players, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's easy enough to say. I don't know the actual
Yeah.
numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm
The
think
next
they
thing I
could.
was going to
Yeah.
say is that like they have a huge demographic. They can shoot anyone and what I mean by shoot anyone, like they can specifically say, okay, we want people from this part of Kansas with these kind of sneakers to join this community, and they can just really just set those filters. They can get very specific. Facebook has a huge pool to target.
Oh my
It's scary.
You're right. That makes a lot of sense. And just like how Facebook works now, like people group up, like they form like little Facebook groups and they talk with like-minded people and stuff. If you do that in a virtual space, that probably sounds just as appealing as the way people use it now. They can use it just like that in the virtual space. So I'm of the mindset that they could very easily, once they get this off the ground, capture a very large share of the audience. Because Fortnite did start as a video game, most people play it as just that and not necessarily a hangout spot, right? Like Facebook is more of a hangout spot than the Fortnite games are. But that being said, if those are the two big competing metaverse properties, who else is probably going to jump into this fight, do you think? Like there's Google, who's always, trying to hand it their own thing. There's Amazon, right? Tons of
Amazon
market
likes to
share.
jump in everybody's pool. And
There's
then
Tencent in China. They're a big tech
Google does
company.
too.
10 cent, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you foresee, I guess, multiple competing metaverses, or is there going to be like one true metaverse to rule them all by the time this is all over and done with?
I
Aren't we
think
already
Facebook
kinda
is gonna
living?
launch first. Yeah.
We're all kind of living in multiple competing metaverses. There's just not a virtual equivalent of it. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
We're already caught in these battles between these massive companies for our time and attention. It's basically the same thing. It's just going to be virtual now.
It makes a lot of sense, actually. I mean,
Ooh.
Google will release
Speak-
something, then abandon it. Yeah. Yes, this
That's
is
what they
true.
do. Google, Amazon does it too. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, they-
People
they
actually
do
have
also
It's
do
a
an
that.
new
idea.
world right now for some reason.
well, no, the New World's doing okay, I think, right? Like that was the only one. It was
People like
Crucible
it.
that they released,
Yeah.
then
Oh,
yeah,
unreleased, and then
Crucible.
canceled.
Toxic people like it.
Wow. I want to play
just-
it. I just didn't want to spend money on it.
You know what I'm saying?
I have that. I just haven't started it up yet. I have access to that. I don't want to play an MMO. That's why. It's a lot of work.
But you
Yeah.
want to live in the metaverse. Okay.
No, the Ash wants to live in the metaverse.
I do. Yes, I do.
Like I wouldn't mind to spend some time in a metaverse, but I would come back home after.
Nah,
I don't want to
no,
stay
no,
there.
no, no.
I'll
I
check
need
it
to get
out. I'll see what's
trapped.
going
I need
on.
to get trapped just like in Sword Art Online.
Yo,
Otherwise, I won't
it's
take it
gonna be
seriously.
FOMO. It's gonna be FOMO. Look, everyone's gonna be in the group chat, right?
Okay.
And you're gonna be the only person that's actually texting, and everyone else is like making faces in some like virtual room. and
Like they're all flying, they're
Your
doing
bubble
like
pop up,
Matrix
like,
kung
you just-
fu to each other, and you're sitting here
And the worst
on
part
a
is your bubble gets
computer.
ignored because everybody's
Yeah, look
like
at Sigma
virtually
saying
talking,
LOL
look at each
in the
other.
corner, and we actually laughing.
I will say that I think this is gonna sound more appealing now in the
Yeah.
age of more remote work and social distancing than it probably would have pre-pandemic. I mean, just
Yeah.
going by my own experiences, people are much more accepting of concepts like working from home and just not going outside, interacting with people virtually, probably more so now than they were 2 years ago. So
Makes
I
a lot
think
of sense.
I think you can definitely, I mean, I don't want to get conspiracy theory here, but this pandemic has definitely made the concept of an entirely virtual world where you partake of social activities without actually being next to other people. It's made it much more palatable than it probably would have been.
Look at
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. Case in point. That game blew the F up as soon as we had to stay inside. As soon as we had to stay inside, that game went crazy.
Well, it was released at exactly the right time.
Yeah,
It came
it
out
did.
right at the
100%.
start. Yeah.
100%.
Nintendo
But
knew.
the fact is, like, people are
Nintendo
crazy
knew.
Yeah, this
Talk about
was a
conspiracy
very,
theories.
very niche, company, a very, very niche series within Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people knew what Animal Crossing was, but it did not have mass, widespread appeal. This, cute
Exactly.
little life sim game until it was the only way we had to interact with each other in a, a wholesome and meaningful and kid-friendly way in a world where suddenly kids have to stay inside all the time. I don't want to underestimate the appeal to children. To
100%.
now much more confined and not going to the children who are not going to school. So yeah, that was. It's just that I think this is it's a very timely announcement from Facebook. They've obviously been working on it a long time, and I'm gonna not be a conspiracy theorist and say they got really lucky that this is now much more palatable than it used to be, and it probably much more quickly than they thought.
Yeah, and they knew. I think they were telegraphing pretty early on that this is something that they were working towards. Like, they bought Oculus when that was kind of really fresh as a VR hardware concept. They just invested a ton of money, bought the rights to it. They're like, look, we want this to be a cornerstone in us eventually virtualizing Facebook. Like, they said that forever ago. And this name change now just really sounds like, because they don't have anything to show, right? Like, it's still just very theoretical. Like, they haven't built any tech that we've seen, at least. But I don't know, it does strike me as like, hey, we just want to tell you, like, this is where we're going, so get used to it. This is the plan going forward. Message received, I guess.
Yeah.
I will try it out. Whenever it becomes a thing, if I'm still alive, because I don't know how long it's going to take, I will try it out. I'll tell you that much. But anything left to add to this before we move to our other metaverse?
Yeah, let them know. Let's move on because I wanna get upset.
All right.
So
You want to get upset? Okay, so another
Aw.
big company, Warner Bros, is trying to take on a metaverse and multiverse in their own way, the platform fighter way. They will be making a video game Smash clone that doesn't just mix up, cartoon characters or comic book characters. No, if it's a WB property, it can be in this game. So, like, the likes of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, apparently, characters from Lords of the Ring, any DC Comics superhero you can think of. Harry Potter, The Matrix. Matter of fact, did you watch Space Jam? Because anybody in Space Jam...
if you watch the new
Space Jam 2, rather. Yeah, anybody in that... Also, were there not rumors that LeBron James would be a possible playable character?
Yes.
Is LeBron James a WB character now? Like, you signed a contract to do one movie, all of a sudden you were a WB property? They could just use his likeness in this way?
I'm gonna say, I guess his likeness is Lois the Keys, yeah. Or at
Wow.
least that cartoon version of him. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That when he turns into a cartoon for that portion of the movie, that is WB property. So that's probably what will be in the game. That cartoon.
So that's the idea, right? WB Properties Smash clone. How does that make you guys feel as
I am
probably
pissed.
fans of these properties?
I need to hear what Ash has to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Ash.
I am worried. Okay, because this is all right. When the Nickelodeon was All-Star Brawl announced theirs, I was like, okay, I get it. It makes sense, and it's not even that this. If this had came out before Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I might not have been as upset. I still think it's more weird. At least Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl made more sense to me by how they're formatting it, not just literally bringing anybody from WD properties. That's a little weird, but okay. But I'm worried this will end up inviting more people to wanting to do so, and then this will be the next battle royale as in like everybody's gonna make one, and I don't want that. I don't want a super saturated Smash brawl type genre, just saturating the market heavy with everybody trying to make one of varying quality and just giving everyone fatigue. I don't want that. Sakurai just worked really hard, got all the way to Smash Ultimate. Just everybody like, oh, that's popular. Now we all might make one. I do not want that. It is a disservice. Don't do it, please. If this is being made, this needs to be it. I don't want anything else after this. Nobody else make one. PlayStation can't come back and make an all-star battle royale that they had. No one else gets to make one. This is it, and we're done. I only care about it to play it because of the Shaggy memes that went rampant for Ultra Instinct Shaggy. That's it. I love some of these franchises. I would love to play like freaking. I mean, shoot, they got Pennywise in there, and that'd be insane for no reason. But like,
oh crap! Like are all the Stephen King things a WB thing?
Are they?
I at least know the more recent It series is WB. So Pennywise can be in there. They can have freaking King Kong in this game. Like, it's wild. He'll be their DK replacement. But the point is, I don't want a saturated market of just a bunch of these platform brawler games. I don't want it. I'm fine with what we have. If they make this, I'll literally play it to play a Shaggy for memes for one day, which means I'm not spending $60 on it. I don't know how I'm going to play it, but there's no way I'm going to buy it.
I actually feel the opposite of that, in that I don't mind more companies attempting platform fighters. Like, make as many as you can, as long as you're trying to make them good.
They're not. Casey.
I feel like this company, like the plan behind this does not feel like they care about making a good game, is what I'm getting at. So like this does not feel like something to get excited about. Whereas, like you mentioned, the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game, there's some love behind that.
Yeah.
Though I do personally think that there's love for the wrong thing behind that. Like, there's love for the competitive platform fighter mechanics behind that, and not as much love for the Nickelodeon cartoon characters, which that should have went hand in hand to make that game really shine. Like, there's not enough love for the characters, though they have an amazing pool of characters to choose from. Like, they really lucked out in getting that Nickelodeon license, but they're not treating it well enough, in my opinion. I mean, time will tell if that turns around.
Changes, yeah.
Yeah, and the appeal of Smash Bros. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are have more history with Smash Bros. Than I do, but the appeal of it is not just that, oh, cool, here's a bunch of video game characters in a game together. Like, that's the appeal for 5 minutes, but afterwards it's like, okay, these are actually really good game mechanics. This is a really fun game to play, and that's what's given the series its staying power. So it's not enough to just throw in a bunch of memorable characters and call it a night. I mean, that's what PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale, whatever the hell the long-ass title was, that's what they did, and they got chewed up and spat out by Smash Bros. just like everyone expected them to, because that was not a good game. I mean, it had so many characters in it.
It was close. Yeah, it was close. Like, they were on the cusp of replicating that for the PlayStation brand. But yeah, like, they changed some of the stuff that was core to the gameplay part and made the gameplay part less fun. But like, the production and the care for the characters, all of that was there. Yeah. If you were a PlayStation fan, like, that game probably hit for you. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like playing, like, they kind of dropped the ball there. This WB game.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Yeah, this WB game. It's like, look, all of our properties get to join in. I feel like that dilutes the pool of like character balancing, right? Because like, Sakurai very famously was like, he's only putting video game characters in Smash. Like, after they jumped out of just Nintendo, they're like, look, if we're gonna have guest characters, they have to be from video games. You get all these weebs talking about, I want Goku in the game. No, Goku would have ruined that game. Sakurai knew this because he doesn't fit with the aesthetic. Like, this is a video game world, right? Mm-hmm. The Nickelodeon game can latch onto the cartoon side and say, like, this is a cartoon world. Like, these characters are from cartoons. They'll do things that cartoon characters can do. There's potential there. This WB thing is a grab bag. Like, how do you mix Scorpion from Mortal Kombat with freaking Voldemort for Harry Potter. Like, it's too random of a cast.
Multiverses.
Yeah, it's just WB. It's like, hey, how do we use all of the properties that we own and just throw them all into a grab bag together?
Like, is
there
a love and nostalgia for WB specifically versus like these individual worlds? Because like that's where I think they're missing the mark. Like, you could have done this with just the DC characters and be like, there can be a love for DC history here, and you throw them all into the grab bag. That could work. There could be a love for Mortal Kombat history here, even though that's already a fighting game. Change up the fighting style, pay homage to the millions of characters in Mortal Kombat. You might get something really fun.
Or just their WB animations. Like, they'd have the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister.
Yeah.
They'd have Bugs Bunny. They literally could have just did a Looney Tunes thing
they could have done a version of that.
Great.
Looney Tunes plus, their other animations too. But like they could just stuck with either just core Looney Tunes and then some of the ones that they've ever crossed in like normal animations, because Bugs has been with the Warner Brothers and sister before a couple. Tell me you don't want to at least have the Warner Brothers and Warner sisters.
I would not mind seeing Animaniacs,
but I don't think they want it.
How dare they? Well, they suck and they don't deserve the game anyway.
But that's the misstep that I'm talking about, because like the Nick All-Star Brawl game could have been that bridge, right? They could have been like, look, we're going to deal with all of cartoon history instead of just Nickelodeon. They could have had the Cartoon Network characters. They could have had the Animaniacs and Warner Brothers people, the Fox characters and whatnot. That could have been a really fun, exciting time. But Warner Brothers instead was like, no, we have to get in on the ground floor of this wave now and make our own. Exactly. And that it just reeks. And I sent a tweet out about this. It just reeks of the same energy as their Justice League franchise. They're like, we saw what was going on over there, and instead of paying attention to how it was done, they're skipping to the part where they make a bunch of money at the end. Like, they want the Smash Ultimate version now versus building up anything that has to do with care, love, and attention to the characters that they own. And like, it just reeks of that sort of energy.
Right.
So I have zero faith that this is going to come out well, but I am curious. I will play it if it comes out. Like, if this even gets made, like, I don't know. This seems like a wild idea. They may not actually ever get this off the ground, but if they do, I would play it to see what the hell's going on there.
I just don't want to buy it. That's my only issue, because it's going to be a $60 game, $70 game, and I'm like, I'm not spending that much for you. I'm not doing it.
It's being tested. It's in testing phases right now. I don't know how far along it is in development. So
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I definitely think that multiverses suck. I've talked about that multiple times.
Oh right, I forgot.
Yeah. But I mean, it gives you excuses to do dumb stuff like this. On top of that, I do believe that there needs to be more competition for Smash. I actually did like PlayStation All-Stars quite a bit. I was sad when it left. But yeah, I definitely want to see more. I want to see different takes on it. Smash was not built for the way that we play it.
It's not.
It's frustrating. I want a game that's built for the way that we play it. Let's get that.
Right, and that was the goal in the Nick game. But weirdly enough, as big of a Smash and video game fan I'm also a really big cartoon fan. Like, I love those 90s, 2000s, 2010s cartoons from like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, right? For them to then mix the Smash formula with that makes so much sense, but they don't care enough about the cartoon part. They care about the hardcore fighting mechanics, and they're doing everything in their power to make that game as sweaty as possible for like the pro community. But like, you didn't even have like SpongeBob laughing like a lunatic in that game. Like, like all the characters are silent. There was nothing in there that showed.
They're silent.
They're silent. There's no voice acting from the characters. Not even clips pulled from the shows were like reused for this, which I think would have been fine. They don't have anything like how even the original N64 Smash game had like the little galleries where you could see the characters on their pedestal and it would tell you where that character was from. That's how I learned who Samus was from Smash 64. I'd never played or seen Metroid before the N64 Smash game, but I learned who Samus was from that. Lots of players today could learn cartoon history from a game like that. And there's tons of cartoon history. Like, there's a Nickelodeon documentary on Hulu that I watched not too long ago.
The Orange Age or something like
that?
The
Orange Age or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a really good story of how, like, Nickelodeon got started and, like, what it accomplished and, like, how it affected people. How it affected us. Because, like, it was our generation that grew up with it and stuff, right? Not you, Ash. You're that's before.
That is...
you came late.
How dare you? How dare you? I was there. I watched people get slimed, okay?
All right, fine.
I'm old enough.
He said, I wanted to be in the Lost Temple.
I did.
But that's what I'm saying. That's a portion of that kind of game mashup that's missing from the Nick game, and that Smash has in spades, and that does not seem to at all be the goal for this WB game. So that's what I'm most worried about. Is that it really does seem like a shameless cash grab.
I'm fine with the name Multiversus, though. That's okay. I like it.
Ooh,
not bad.
I hate multiverses, but that's really good. Oh.
By the way, quick side note, not related to the game stuff, by the way, Casey, but since you mentioned Foundation earlier, I actually enjoy that Asimov kind of created like a sort of like before multiverses were a thing. He kind of created a multiverse by linking together all his past stories together with Foundation. Like, it is sort of like...
Oh, did he?
Not in an overt way, but like, for example, in... his Caves of Steel trilogy, which is my favorite Asimov's book, my favorite Asimov series. They have, like, there are certain planets that are named certain things, and at various points in Foundation, you find out that some of the planets are used to be named things. Used to be named after the same planets that were in Caves of Steel.
So they're hinting that they existed in the same universe, but they're no linking like stories or characters. Okay.
Yeah, they're like way. Foundation takes place like way in the future. So.
Right. Okay. That's
but
cool.
I actually,
I didn't realize that.
I just wanted to express my appreciation for Asimov there, since you mentioned Foundation.
But yeah. Okay. So, is there anything left to add to this Smash clone Multiversus WB multi? I don't know. I don't even know what it's really going to be called. Is it just Multiverses? Because that's a terrible name for just...
I think that's a dope name.
No, I mean, it would have to be like, what do you call it? A subtitle. Because like...
It's the working title.
Yeah, okay, it's a working title, fine. Because you couldn't just call a thing Multiverses and send it out into the world. Like, no one would know what that is or means.
It'll be a good breakaway from the crap they got now.
I can't argue with that.
All right, fair enough. Well, time will tell.
Yeah.
But if that does it for our topics, Ash, why don't you let folks know where they can find you on the internet and what you'll have to show them if they do find you on the internet.
Yes, if you look for me at Ash Redux, right there, I think. Right? Is that it? Is that it, Casey? Right here?
Yeah, it's probably wherever you're pointing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So right there.
When you point, I should just move it like.
You should
just move it out of the way.
Oh yeah, no, it's right there. Slide it over. Yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitch at Ash Redux, where either today or tomorrow I will be playing some more Tales of Arise, as well as either today or tomorrow I'll be doing Tales of Arise, and whichever day I don't do Tales of Arise, I'll be streaming Pokemon. So basically today and tomorrow you should see me go live. So just make sure that you're following so you can tune in for that. But that's all I got planned for this week. Nothing too much going on, sadly. I got a lot I got to do. So
no problems. Balloononymous, where can folks find you, or do you not want them to find you?
People can't find me, but you can find my friend Blue Bones.
I'm leaving. I'm done with this.
At that tag right above me, BLUB0NES. Let's see. This past week we did a really good Overwatch run on Over Wednesdays. The week before we had a total losing streak. This past week we lost only 2 games out of like 10. So like big ups to the Open Party squad. We was doing it this week. We're gonna do it again this coming week on Wednesday, Over Wednesdays, of course, and then Free For All Friday. I think we're probably gonna go with Fuser. We got a lot of people playing it now. We'll probably do a little festival. So look out for that next Friday night.
Cool. That's what's up. How about you, Rachel? Where can folks find you? What you've been working on?
You can find me here on Twitter at Rachel Kaiser, and just so you know, I'm a writer for GamesBeat, so all of the stuff I write goes through my Twitter. Pretty much everything goes through my Twitter, except my handle on Twitch is actually different. So just so everyone knows, you can find me at twitch.tv/GraceOfAthena, and I think I've mentioned my name in the chat a couple of times. So I know every time I've been on here, I've been like, well, I'm thinking about streaming again. I'm actually going to do it tonight. We're going to have a special piratey Black Flag stream tonight. So if you want to come see me play a pirate game while wearing a pirate hat, pirate eye patch, and pirate necklace, then you can come find me later tonight. I'll put all the details on Twitter. So yeah, hopefully some of you can join me.
Awesome.
Nice.
And you, as always, you guys can find me at SigmaGears9. This is my Twitch right here. But you can also find me on Twitter, where, like I mentioned earlier, you can find some of the Halloween pics I took with my son Starboy. We dressed up as the characters from Haikyuu, which is a volleyball anime. Those pictures are awesome. I don't care what anyone says. I worked hard on them, and they came out dope. Thank you.
Good job.
So, share them around. Let some folks see that hard work put together by a father and son and his fiance. Also, there will be no Super Smash Sunday this afternoon. Got to go do some more Halloween stuff in the afternoon. So we'll be back next week for sure. But if you're not already, follow the Open Party. That's where the Smash streams happen, and that's where a lot of other fun streams happen as well. So that's a good place to be. Outside of that, you can check me out on the Escapist YouTube channel, where I'm streaming most of the week. I do the Editor's Hour with Nick on Mondays. I do the Hidden Gem stream with Jesse on Tuesdays. And on Fridays nights, we're doing the Dead Space stream, me and Marty. Check out Adventure is Nigh, which is the Dungeons and Dragons show that I'm on with Yahtzee, Jack, Amy, and Jesse. We're up to episode 3 now, released on the website. This coming Thursday, it'll release on the YouTube channel, so you can see it there if you don't care about going to websites. But it's on the website right now, so you might as well just go to escapistmagazine.com to see it early. And should have a review coming up within the week as well, I think. And if I'm missing something, I can't remember it at this moment. Oh, the Breakout podcast with me, Nick, and Marty. That's probably going to be released at some point as well. So check all that stuff out. Follow the Twitter to see what I'm doing at any given time. But thank you guys for coming through. Really appreciate it. Thanks to my 3 co-hosts, especially the 2 who dressed up for the occasion.
Rock did. Look at Dwayne.
Oh, the Rock is leaving. Oh no. All right, that's gonna do it for today's episode of the Sigma Show. See you next week. Peace.
Bye.